Greetings, friends. I am DJ, and we've just hit another subscriber milestone. And this is a big one, because we have just passed 500 subscribers. You know, this year alone, we've made it past 2, 3, 4, and now 500. This is just insane. Looking back at everything that I've done over this year, this has been my busiest and most rewarding year so far, because I have a lot of stuff that I would like to do in the future. And all of the conversations I've had and little tidbits of information I've gotten in the comments have just been really eye-opening and much appreciated. So for this video, I actually had a few ideas of what I wanted to do, and what I've decided to do was all of them. Okay, so first and foremost, since I do a lot of content on Friday the 13th, I thought it would be most appropriate to talk a bit about the Jason universe. Friday the 13th has been in a legal limbo for almost a decade now, I think. There have been several rights holders just shifting around, but it looks like it's down to only 2 or 2.5 now. You have first New Line Cinema, who owns the Friday the 13th title. This they got after the remake was made, when they partnered with Paramount, who owned the title at the time, and the title has since shifted ownership to New Line. And then the other party or parties involved would be Victor Miller and Horror Inc. Basically, Victor Miller more or less claims the rights, and that was the main point of the legal battles that was happening between him, New Line, I think Sean Cunningham, and maybe Paramount. And how that was resolved was everything except for the Friday the 13th title was just coalesced and combined under the ownership of Horror Inc., in which Victor Miller is involved in the production, meaning that his name is put on anything with the Jason name or the hockey mask design. I know I've probably butchered that explanation as to how we got here, but here we are. Now into the Jason universe itself. It seems like what they're doing is breaking the franchise into 2 separate, entities. First, we have Crystal Lake from A24, which itself has just gone through several iterations over the past few years. And where it is now is basically a prequel to the original Friday the 13th. So they're trying to make it more in line with the visual appearance or visual cues of the original Friday the 13th, which was filmed in 1979, while also going back to the original filming locations of the original Friday the 13th. Now, as this is not yet released, all we have to go off of are leaks and set photos and whatnot. I personally am cautiously optimistic. I'm optimistic because it does seem like they're putting a lot of craft and care into it from what I have seen myself, and I am a bit cautious due to that same care that they're putting into it, because a lot of the leaks and cast announcements have been a little interesting, to say the least. So we have Mrs. Voorhees, obviously. We have both a child and adult Jason announced, which makes sense too. And of course we have the Crazy Ralph character from the original, that's fine if we're going back to that era. But the interesting things are, like, they announced casting for the motorcycle cop who appeared in one scene in the original, and then from the set photos it's like, ooh, there's Crazy Ralph's famous bike. Like, what? There's the trucker's truck. Like, these are small details, sure, that I'm sure only the fans will be interested in. But again, stay positive, stay cautious, but still look forward to it, you know? Anyway, we have this other side of the Jason universe, which is all, so far, marketing and other products, other places. Anything that is not a film. You have, like, Angry Orchard, you have Fanta, I think. There's the Universal Horror Nights, and just the other day they announced a Funko Pop, which of course Jason has had in the past, but, like, that's the first piece of statue figure, ultimate collectors, whatever. Not something from like NECA or like Hot Toys. No, it's a Funko Pop. Jason has just become a further caricature from what he already was with this Jason universe. It's crazy. And to emphasize that caricature, let's just talk real quick about the mask. I gotta say, the final product for this, if that's what you can even call it, still looks like a work in progress. It looks like they tried to take the concept art and just translate it one-to-one into a physical mask, as opposed to using like a real hockey mask as a base for it, which is what the original was and did. And as a result of that, there's just these problems that shouldn't exist popping up. So first and foremost is one that I don't think anyone noticed until Sweet Revenge came out, but the physical masks themselves are way too big to fit on anyone's heads, even the actors playing Jason who are wearing the cowls underneath. And on top of that, the designs on the mask with the chevrons and the vent holes and the eyes. It's like, if you're not paying close attention, that it looks fine, and I'm sure it'll look better in the future, but like, it looks like he has a unibrow. They've stretched it way too wide. They've made them all way too fat, I guess, too curved. It's like, yeah, these are problems that will go away over time. These type of designs will change. But like, this is your brand. So much effort was put into this. Like with the original, they were just stickers, red stickers that they cut up and put onto the mask to make just a simple design, and it became iconic. And now it feels like they're trying to reinvent the wheel with this. And then with the vent holes, the idea of there being specifically 13 of these breathing holes, that's a good idea. It really is. But the placement of them and the size of them, it makes the mask feel like there's too much empty space. And on top of that, it'll make it feel even cartoonishly bigger and under detailed. There should have been more thought put into this than what I could clearly see is a Photoshop of one of the other masks, like mouth area, pasted onto this. Like you could see with the actual positioning and warping of the vent holes, it's just a picture of one of the older masks. And the last detail on this that I'll bring up is the shape of the eyes. They went for a more squared look, but the angle of them, it's clearly they're going for like, ooh, angry face look. Like if they were just like rectangular with curved edges, I'm sure that would look a lot better for a more neutral, blank expression. But again, they went for angry eyes. And on top of that, them fixing it is another thing on its own, because after all this talk of it being ugly looking for the character, it was announced that they would update the mask slightly to try and fix it without changing it too much, which is like something they should have done before making it their entire brand. Like the whole announcement of the Jason universe was with a single piece of concept art with no final product ready, and now they have to try and catch up with themselves while one, making it look better-ish to please the fans, which is its own problems that'll always lead to more problems, and two, trying to keep it the same because you already made it your logo. It's like the whole brand already. You can't really do anything without tearing down the whole Jason UN1V3RSE. But these changes that they've announced, we have already been able to see through the Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights, because they just filled that with a bunch of versions of this new Jason Universe mask. And with these Jason Universe masks, they've modified all of them to look like the older masks in the franchise. But with all of them, there are two consistent changes I've noticed. And both of these changes do, in some way, seem to acknowledge the fan backlash to this. One, the masks have been cut down and made smaller to actually be able to fit on people's heads, and by doing this, it actually regained the shape of the older style masks, which is very odd. And the other change was that the vent holes on the mask were actually enlarged so that they superficially take up more space on the mask. And again, I think that is a good change. They didn't change the positioning, but they did modify it slightly to look better. And I do think it does look a lot better. That's that on the mask. Moving on. So finishing off the Jason universe for now, we have the first actual official Jason film in 16 years. Sweet Revenge is an Angry Orchards funded short film in the Jason universe, written and directed by Mike P. Nelson, who is mostly known for remakes and sequels. It's starring Ali Leonidas as Eve and Schuyler White as Jason, and both of them give fine performances, and let me say, for the most part, it is just a commercial for Angry Orchards. And the fact that I have to say it's fine for a alcohol commercial is something I wish I didn't have to say. You know, just making a 15-minute short film about just some campers that go to Crystal Lake and then get murdered by Jason. It should be easier for someone like Mike P. Nelson to do, considering his long history with the genre, but it looks like it was filmed in a way where they could cut it down to just 30 seconds and then put the Angry Orchards logo at the end for just a TV commercial. And that really sucks to say that. Like, the directing is fine, the acting is serviceable, the score is like an off-brand version of the original. I don't know what they were going for there. But I will say, the special effects, all the gore and all the blood, it looked like Friday the 13th, I would say. Good, honestly. And the limited stunt work that we saw was also very well done, even compared to past Friday the 13th films. Like the propeller kill, that was beautifully done. Even the off-screen kills when we saw the aftermath of them, that looked amazing. And that right there is sort of the light at the end of the tunnel that I'm hoping for. If we can get more stuff like that, amazing effects, amazing practical effects, maybe that would make up for some of the other subpar stuff like the films in the past had. And in that sense, this kind of really is a throwback to the 80s slasher. You gotta take the good effects with the horrible everything else. But for now, that is the last that I will say on the Jason universe. Moving on, there's something I would like to have you guys involved in a little bit, and that is relating to the hockey masks that I make. Now, I've gotten a few comments requesting specific hockey masks from the franchise, like Freddy vs. Jason and stuff like that. And so for my next hockey mask, and probably the costume connected to it, I would like to leave it up to you guys. After this video goes up, I'm going to post a poll asking what my next hockey mask should be. The options will be one of the alternate versions of the Part 5 mask, or one of the Part 6 masks. Depending on which gets the most votes, there will be a second poll for either which of the alternate Part 5 masks or Part 6 mask. The polls that I post will specify the options available. But if you could vote on that, that would be much appreciated. One last thing, I also have an announcement to make. For passing 500 subscribers, I have decided to go back to my roots a little bit, and by that I mean I'll be doing a live stream here on YouTube sometime around the last week of October, probably the weekend before Halloween is my current plan. I will be streaming myself finishing Five Nights at Freddy's, which I started 3 years ago, and I have not touched since. The current plan is to finish the main game and then do the extra bonus nights at the end. And I am determined to finish it completely on stream. And I would appreciate it if you could all show up there for that. All of that being said, if you liked this video, leave a like down below and post in the comments your thoughts or ideas as to the Jason universe and what masks I should make and this upcoming stream. If you would like to see more of my videos, or if you'd like to vote in the poll, or see the live stream, subscribe to my channel. And if you'd like to be alerted as to when I post new videos or go live, you could hit the bell icon down below. Now that we've passed 500 subscribers, my next goal, and last goal for this year, is to pass 600 subscribers. This one I definitely know we could reach, and pushing to reach it really drives me to go further and do even more than I have before. So thank you all so much. I have been DJ. Farewell, friends.